Students, I welcome all of you once again to the second part of lesson number 15, Fun with the Magnets. So let's revise once again whatever we have learnt in the last lecture. So students, we have learnt in the last lecture what do you exactly mean by a magnet. So let's learn that what do you exactly mean by the magnet. So as you can see that over here, a material to which objects made from iron, nickel and the cobalt etc. they are attracted, it is called as magnet. So basically there are certain material who are attracted toward all these three components. So this type of the material is called as what? Magnet. And the property of that material, it is called as what? Magnetism. Understood? And students, one most important thing is that not all the object they are attracted toward the magnet. There are specific material who are attracted toward the magnet, right? So the material that stick to a magnet, the material that are stick to a magnet, they are called as what? Magnetic material, right? And there are certain things like paper, sawdust and the sand etc. they are not attracted toward the magnet. So those material who are not attracted toward the magnet and they do not stick to the magnet, they are called as what? Non-magnetic material. So let's see that what are the example of the magnetic material. So as you can see that over here, iron, cobalt and nickel. So the iron, cobalt and nickel, these all three are the example of what? Magnetic material. So you all know that the magnets can have the variety of the shape depending upon their uses. So today the magnets which are used in all the type of the machines and the gadget, they all are the man-made magnets. So there are so many examples of the magnet as you can see here in this picture. So there are variety of the magnet as you see here. So let me tell you, this variety of the magnet, it is called as bar magnet. This variety of the magnet, it is called as the horseshoe magnet. This variety of the magnet, it is called as the ring shaped magnet. This is called as the cylindrical magnet, and this is the small button magnet, right? So there are so many different variety of the magnet which we are using on daily basis at our household machines and the gadgets, right? So you can see that the spelling also, the bar magnet, the disc magnet, horseshoe magnet, ring shaped magnet, cylindrical magnet as well as the small button magnet. These all are the different shape of the magnet which we use in the everyday life. Okay, so these all are the example of the magnet. Please students note down all these examples in your notebook, and I hope that you all are writing everything in your notebook. Okay, and most importantly, when a magnet attracts an object, that object is displayed due to the magnetic force. Displaced means what? Change of the place. So whenever anything is changing the place, then we can say that a object is displayed. So whenever the object is attracted toward iron material or the cobalt material, so that iron material it change its place. So that iron material changes its place. So that iron material changes its place because of certain kind of the force. So the force which is involved in the displacement of the iron material, so that force is called as what? Magnetic force. And this magnetic force is developed because of the magnet, right? So you can see that over here in the places like the factories and the ports and the garbage deposits etc. Large objects are shifted from one place to the another place just because of the magnet only. You must have seen the big cranes also. Even in the big cranes also the magnet has been used because it is not easy to pick up the objects. So in cranes also they use the magnet so that the iron material gets attracted towards it, and so that they can easily pick up the object with the help of the magnetic force. So the magnetic force is involved. So that means the object is changing its place because of the magnetic force. So in this case the work has been done, right? So as the work has been done, so this is called as what? Magnetic force. So anything is changing its place, that is because of the magnetic force. So we can say that the work has been done. So this shows that the magnetism is a kind of the energy. So the energy which is involved in the displacement of the object by using a magnet. So this is called as what? Magnetism. So did you understand the meaning of the magnetism? Okay. So students, now let's determine the direction of the magnet. So now we are going to see one by one what are the properties of the magnet. So to know the properties of the magnet, we are going to perform certain experiments. Okay, so first of all, let's learn the direction of the magnet by performing one small experiment, right? What we are going to do, we are going to determine the direction of the magnet by suspending this magnet like this. What you have to do, as you can see that we have tied a magnet in the center and we have tied a knot, right? We have suspended. So what you have to do here, tie a thread to the center part of the bar magnet. So this rectangular magnet is called as what? Bar magnet. And hang it over a stand. Can you see this? We have hang this magnet toward the stand. Note the direction in which the magnet settles and turn around again and again. Okay, so whenever we tie the magnet, wait for the direction where it will get settled down. So we have to observe very carefully where the magnet will stop its place, right? So as you can see that, students, let it settle and note the direction. We have to note the direction of the magnet where it will stop. Okay, what do you observe? So this is a small experiment. I guess you can also do at your home if magnet is available at your place, right? So you have to notice the direction of the magnet. So what we will observe, students? So we will observe that a magnet always settles in the north and south direction. This is the one of the property of the magnet. So that means the one side over here, it will be the south side and the one side will be the north side. So wherever the magnet will stop, the one end is going to be a south end and the one end is going to be a north end. So that means a magnet always settles in position of the north and the south direction. Understood? So this is one of the important property. So can you see the N is written over here? So the N indicates the north place. Can you see the S is written over here? The S indicates the south place or south pole. Okay, so as you can see that the end of the magnet that points towards the north, the end of the magnet that points towards the north, it is called as north pole, while the end of the magnet which points toward the south, this is called as what? South pole. So if it is directing toward the south, then it is called as the south pole. If it is directing towards the north, then it is called as what? North pole. So these are the direction of the magnet. One is north and the second is south. Okay, and always remember that north pole is always indicated by capital letter N, and the south pole is always indicated by the capital letter S. So capital letter S indicates the south pole, whereas the capital letter N indicates the north pole. Got it? So students, now what you have to do, spread the iron filing on the pieces of the paper and place the magnet over it. So my question is that over here, to which part of the magnet do most of the iron filings stick? On which part do we see fewer filings? What can we conclude from this? What we have done? We have spreaded the iron filing all over the paper and we moved a magnet over that filings. So now what you see here in this picture? So you can see that the iron filing are majorly attracted toward the north pole and they are attracted toward the south pole. Iron filing, are they attract toward the central part of the magnet? No, we are not able to see the iron filing toward the central part. Whatever the iron filings are there, they are attracted toward the south pole and they are attracted toward the north pole. None of the iron filing, they are stick to the middle portion of the magnet, right? So from this thing, can we conclude that over here the magnetic force is concentrated at the two ends or the two poles of the magnet? So that means the magnetic force, it is present at the north pole and the magnetic force is present at the south pole. This magnetic force is not present that much in the middle portion. So it is there. I am not saying that magnetic force is not there in the middle portion. The magnetic force in the middle part, it is there, but it is in the very less amount. So maximum magnetic force is found in the north pole and the maximum magnetic force is found in the south pole. So these are the property of the magnet. So this is the second property of the magnet. What is the second property of the magnet? The magnetic force is concentrated at the two ends or the poles of the magnet, right? So this is the second property. Now let's try to learn the third property of the magnet. So students, for learning this third property of the magnet, what you have to do, take a bar magnet that can cut with the scissor or the knife very easily. take the iron filings on a white sheet of the paper. As you can see that iron filings are there, and place the magnet on it. So as usual, you all know that if we iron filings and the magnet, if they both are kept together, so automatically the iron filing, they will get attracted toward the north pole and the south pole, right? So as you can see that over here. So you see that over here, most of the iron filing will be seen to stick to its pole only, as you see here, right? So students, now what I want to tell you that over here, now cut the magnet into two pieces. The magnet was originally like this, right? So now cut the magnet into two pieces as shown in the picture and place those pieces on the iron filing. Now what you observe here? Now what we had done? We had cut the magnet. And now after cutting the magnet, again you notice that over here, the ends of the magnet are again occupied with the iron filing, right? So that means what it indicates exactly. So pick up each of the pieces and observe them. What do you exactly find? So when we had cut the magnet, before cutting the magnet, the iron filings were at the opposite end, one right side and one left side. But when we cut the magnet, again you see that the cut region, the place where we have made a cut on the magnet, even that region got occupied with the iron filing, right? So can I say that over here, if a magnet is divided into two parts, if the magnet is divided into two parts, then two independent magnets are formed. As you can see that initially the magnet was like this, only iron filing will attract it toward to this end. If you cut it into two parts, as you see that two independent means what? Which are not dependent upon anyone. So when we cut this magnet, you will get the two magnet, right? And again this end are attracted toward the iron filing. Again you have to cut this magnet. So when we cut this magnet, again we will get the two iron. Okay, so when we cut this, again we will get the two magnetic material over here, and this end is also get attracted towards the iron filing. So what is the third property of the magnet? So the third property or the third characteristic of the magnet says that if a magnet is divided into two parts, then the two independent magnets are formed, right? That means that the two poles of the magnet, they cannot be separated from each other. The south pole and the north pole, they are always going to be there. If you try to divide this north pole by cutting it into the middle, again the south pole will be developed here. So that means we can say that two poles of the magnet cannot be separated easily from each other. Understood? So students, this is the third characteristic of the magnet. So please note down all the characteristic in your notebook very properly. So if a magnet is divided into two parts, then the two independent magnets are formed. It means that the two poles of the magnet cannot be separated from each other. So this is a third characteristic of the magnet. Alright. So I hope so students, whatever we have learned today, you must have understood that. Let's have a revision once again. So what we have learned? We have learned that a magnet always settles in north and south direction. So this is the first property of the magnet which we have learned today. You try to rotate the magnet, it will rotate and at the end again it will settle down to the north and the south place only. So this is one of the most important property of the magnet. Alright. Now what is the second property of the magnet? The magnet shows the north and south pole. The north pole is indicated by the capital letter N, whereas the south pole is indicated by the capital letter S. Alright. And most importantly, iron filings are attracted towards the end portion of the magnet. So we can say that the magnetic force is concentrated at the two ends of the magnet. The middle portion is not occupied with the magnetic force. It has the magnetic force but in the less amount. But the maximum magnetic force we will find at the ends of the magnet. Alright. So what is the third property of the magnet? If a magnet is divided into two parts, the two independent magnets are formed. That means what? The two poles of the magnet cannot be separated from each other. So these are the three properties of the magnet which we have learned today. So the next part of this topic we will continue in the next session. Bye bye, take care.